a sunny and gorgeous Wednesday afternoon in Northeast Ohio. Welcome into the bullpen. I'm Adam the Bull. He's Dustin Fox. And Zac Meisel will join me later in the podcast. I'll talk some Guardians with him. Zach Jackson will be on tomorrow's show. A lot of Zacs in the mix.
A lot of Zacs.
Yeah. Dustin, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Oh, not too much, man. Just sitting here. Got back from the Akron Children's ER with my son, who does not have a broken arm, thank God.
Good.
And we thought it was broken last night. They played Massillon, and he got a little bit banged up in the game and had to come out. And so here we are. We're
good news.
No broken bones. It's good.
No break. Good news. That's great. Bad news for the Browns is they have the worst quarterback situation in the NFL. This is pretty obvious. They made it even worse, in my opinion, by announcing that Deshaun Watson would be the starter. We've talked about that already, but since we were last on Monday, this update from the Browns, of course, Todd Monken, their head coach, said that in the final preseason game tomorrow, Shedeur Sanders would not play at all. And when asked why, he said he wants to see more of Dillon Gabriel and Taylon Green. But the question I ask you, Dustin, is if Shedeur Sanders is the quarterback too, and he hasn't played much, doesn't he need the reps, seeing as Deshaun Watson is very injury-prone? What do you make of this situation?
Well, it's very obvious. What you just said is the most obvious thing that I'm thinking, that everyone's thinking, is like, okay, Shedeur is your number two. He's been in a competition. He looked really good this past weekend,
right?
But not good enough to win the starting quarterback job.
Yep.
So he's the number two.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the guy's in his second year. Like, he hasn't earned the right to not play. Like, we haven't seen enough from Shedeur. In fact, we haven't seen enough at all of Shedeur Sanders. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised he's not playing this game.
I don't understand it, and it got me to start speculating, well, is it possible they're going to cut him or try to trade him or something? I mean, I wouldn't even have thought that if he were playing, but this idea, like, well, why do you need to see the third and the guys battling for the third string quarterback? Again, Deshaun Watson's the most injury-prone quarterback in the league. It wouldn't shock me if Shedeur Sanders had to come in and play in week one. Wouldn't you want to try to get him as prepared as possible, even if you do want to see Gabriel and Green? Couldn't you just play Shedeur in the first quarter and then play the other guys in the following three quarters? They could still get plenty of action. Do you buy any possibility that this means they're going to move on from him, or you just think I'm reading into where nothing's there?
I mean, first off, if they were going to move on from him, I just don't think the value is quite there.
No.
That it would, like, preclude you from playing him in this game. Like, it's not like the guy's an ace. He's not Tarek Skubal, and we're going to trade him because, but we're not going to play him because we don't want him to get hurt. Like, dude, the value's just not there.
Right.
It's like you're going to get a haul for him. You're going to get a first-round pick for this guy.
Not getting anything. I don't even know if you can get anything.
Yeah.
In a trade. I mean, maybe a late-round pick. I don't know. I have no idea what the rest of the league thinks of him at this point. But it wasn't about – I wasn't really saying that they were doing – that they wouldn't play him because they want to trade him and they're afraid of him to get hurt. It's more –
You think is they're afraid it's so far between those other guys and Shedeur at 2 that they can't lose their number 2? I don't know. Is that
No, I'm thinking like, well, maybe they're going to move on, and so they got to decide who the backup quarterback, or at least they want to get Dillon Gabriel reps because he's going to be the backup quarterback. I'm probably reaching at straws. I just don't understand why you wouldn't, if he was a vet, as you said, if it was a veteran backup quarterback, if it's a Joe Flacco or Andy Dalton, I understand if you don't want to play that guy in the second preseason game because he's a veteran. Those reps probably don't matter. But Shedeur Sanders has played in 8 and started 7 NFL games. He's not played in a lot of preseason. He's not going to play if Deshaun Watson gets hurt. Unless Deshaun Watson gets hurt, he's probably not going to play for at least the first few weeks. So why? I just don't understand, if you're planning on him being your number 2 quarterback, why you wouldn't give him the most opportunity to get extra reps in games, in a real game. I mean, I know it's preseason, but it's still a game. You still could get hit.
Yep. No, I agree.
So it's just kind of mind-blowing to me, and I don't know. But everything, the Browns do a lot of things Dustin, that are mind blowing. A lot of things that don't make much sense. Are you even going to watch this preseason game tomorrow? I mean,
Am I gonna watch it tomorrow?
yeah,
Uh, sure,
yeah.
a little bit, like not much of it.
I'm not going to watch it live. I'll watch it the next morning because I'm not doing any shows on Friday, so it's not like I need to have seen it for Friday morning. But it's really pointless to watch it. If I were a fan,
100%.
I don't know why I'd watch it at all. Because you're seeing third and fourth string players. Maybe some of the backups will play a little bit in this game, but you're really, I mean, it's this game. It's not any kind of dress rehearsal, and
No, no one's. I mean, if the quarterback competition was truly still up for grabs, 100%, we'd be locked in.
yeah,
But that's not the case.
no. By the way, Jordan Reed of ESPN. Do you know him personally, or do you know who he is? Right?
I know he is. Don't know him personally.
He decided to do a mock draft today, and I know it's like we haven't even had the season yet, so it's kind of silly. But I just happened to look at it, and he has quarterbacks going in the top 3 spots. He has the Browns trading up. He has the Browns finishing with the 4th worst record, and then trading up to the 1st overall pick with the Dolphins. Who do you think he has them taking right now as the 1st overall pick?
Arch?
No. He has Dante Moore.
Really?
And then he has Arch going 2nd and C.J. Carr of Notre Dame going 3rd.
Okay. I mean,
You
I
like
guess
you like Arch better than Dante Moore?
I do. I mean, not that I've studied either one, like in terms of a draft profile, but
Mhm.
I've seen both play. I think we'll know a lot more about Arch after the first couple of weeks of the season. We
Yeah.
saw Dante play at a high level last year, and he's back obviously for another season. He's a dynamic player. I mean, it depends what you want. Like Arch is no slouch. Arch can run. Like
Right.
he happens to have the name Manning, but he's more athletic than Peyton
Yeah. And Dante Moore
and
is
Eli.
not a runner.
No, but he can move.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, almost every quarterback can move. There's very few like complete stiffs these days. But Dante Moore is not a running quarterback. I don't even think. I mean, last year, what did he have rushing yards? He only had 150. Yeah, he basically, 73 carries for 156 yards. He was not really running the ball. Yeah, so he's not a runner. But I spoke with Sean King on the podcast yesterday, and Sean, he likes Dante Moore a lot. He thinks he's more like pro ready than anybody else right now. Maybe Arch has more upside, but listen, it's all going to depend on this season. We can say whatever we want, mock drafts, all the quarterbacks you like. What do you? It depends how they perform this year, where they're going to get drafted. What do you think of C.J. Carr from Notre Dame?
Honestly, don't know a ton about the player.
Yeah.
Haven't studied him. I haven't called any of his games.
Yeah.
But I'm hearing the name, so I'm obviously going to be tuned in to the early part of the season to see what's going on with him.
Not surprised.
Yeah, go ahead.
Non-quarterback wise, not surprisingly, Jeremiah Smith he has as the first non-quarterback off the board, going 4th to the Dolphins. But he has 3 total wide receivers in the top 10. Jeremiah Smith at 4, Cam Coleman from Texas at 5, and then Charlie Becker from Indiana at 10. So that would be 3 wide receivers and 3 quarterbacks in the first 10 picks. Who is the quarterback that you like, that you keep mentioning to me, and I keep forgetting his name?
Drew Mestemaker.
Yeah. Okay.
He's now at Oklahoma State.
Right. And he doesn't have doesn't have him at in the top 10, but or in the not even the top 10 in the first round at all. But obviously a long way to go before we get to that point. But for now,
a lot of people think he's like a late first right
Okay.
now in terms of the grade. But yeah.
But for now,
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine. It will be Deshaun Watson. And I don't think, today on UCSS, Mike asked the question to Jason and I, is it possible there will be more anger and booing of Deshaun Watson in the home opener in week 3 than there was for LeBron when he came back with the Heat for the first time. And were you in the arena for that? That was even before we were on the air. It was 2010.
I wasn't there for that one.
Yeah.
No.
But Jason said nothing could top that. Nothing could top that. That, because people loved LeBron. Nobody ever loved Deshaun Watson here.
No.
So when you love a guy and then hate a guy, that's going to bring out even more anger than when you just hated the guy.
And remember, like, this guy's on your team.
Right. Yes.
At the time, LeBron was on the Miami Heat.
Right.
He left you, went to that team. I mean, it would be like, I'm just trying to think about, like, who's the most beloved Cleveland player right now?
Right now?
Jose Ramirez?
Oh, any of the teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's say Jose Ramirez. He's right there.
Yeah. So Jose Ramirez, let's go back to the last time he was a free agent or whatever. He could have signed, because he signed that deal with Cleveland. Let's say he was signed with the Yankees, and the Yankees come back to town. Even then, I don't even know if he's booed.
No. He wouldn't be. I mean, like, I don't think Francisco Lindor was booed when he went to the Mets, right? I mean, he got traded, but then he signed with them.
Was. I mean, I think that, honestly, I don't think the boos for Deshaun are going to be that bad.
I think they will be, but nowhere close to what
I mean, most of it has to do with Shedeur.
Yes, and the fact that he's been terrible. Some of it's Shedeur, some of it's there's people because we got rid of Baker for him. Obviously, some of it's off the field, and some of it's that he's been terrible. So it's a combination of those four things. And throw in his comments last week. I know he apologized for them, but that seemed, completely hollow.
Right.
All right, we'll leave it there. Dustin will say sayonara to you for now.
Sayonara.
And we'll bring you, obviously, be back on Monday with me. Until then, I'll talk to you later.
Sounds good, buddy boy.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later. And coming up in about 30 seconds, I'll bring in Zac Meisel from The Athletic. Zach and I also host a show called The Ultimate Cleveland Guardians Show, which will be usually on Friday mornings, but the next couple of weeks it's some weird timing. So tomorrow we'll be on at 8:30. I'm sorry. Are we on tomorrow? Yeah, 8 o'clock tomorrow, 8 a.m. And we'll bring Zach in with us in a moment to talk about the red-hot Cleveland Guardians. We talked a lot about it last week on the Ultimate Cleveland Guardians Show. And all right, let's bring in Zach. Let's bring him in. There he is. Zach, thanks for joining me. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Bull? How are you?
I'm great. We got the big Cleveland Media Fantasy Draft coming out Monday night. I texted you before to see if I got to, reach out to Scott Petrak beforehand to apologize, even though I apologized on the air.
Every good fantasy football league needs a rivalry, right?
Yeah. It's going to be me and Scott.
You need
the battle of guys not asking tough questions at Guardians or at the Browns. Anyway, let's get to the Let's get to the Guardians. So the Guardians, when they started this stretch against the four worst teams in baseball, you and I were saying 9-10. You got to go 9 or 10, out of 12. And they're on good pace here. They won 2 out of 3 against the Giants. They sweep the Rockies. And then the big comeback last night in Game 2 of the series with the Angels was huge. Jose looked like himself, had 2 clutch hits late. It was a very un-Guardians-like win. Gavin Williams was absolutely awful. The Guardians fell behind early, were unclutch early. That has been their MO. But very clutch late, lots of hits late. And ultimately, the bullpen, top to bottom, did a fantastic job giving up 0 runs after Gavin Williams gave up 6 in an inning and change. Pretty big.
There's a lot of things here. The lineup just feels so much deeper after the additions of Joe Adell and Nathaniel Lowe. Angel Hinaut's come up and has been really good. And obviously we've talked plenty, Bull, about Stephen Kwan going from literally one of the worst hitters in baseball for 3 months to one of the best hitters in baseball for the last 2 months. And, him and DeLauder at the top of the lineup. I know DeLauder's a little beat up right now, but there are fewer automatic outs in the lineup, to put it simply. And so whereas a 5-run deficit would have seemed insurmountable, you could have packed it up and gone home after the second inning. For the first few months of this season, what they're able to do now is chip away and get guys on, whether it's a walk or a base hit, and they're still not hitting for power. Adele will run into one from time to time, but like the small difference between when you have guys who can hit doubles, like
Yeah.
Jose Ramirez hit a few doubles last night, and or like getting a sac fly with a runner on third instead of popping it up on the infield or striking out at the worst time. Like it's night and day. And I know they're facing the Rockies, they're facing the Angels. I get it, but as you and I have discussed, what do you want them to do?
Yeah.
They couldn't beat these teams earlier in the season,
No,
so
they
I'm not
lost.
going to
They just
complain
lost
when
to
they
the
are
Mets
now.
a few weeks ago. Didn't they get swept in that series?
Yeah.
Or lose to it? Yeah, they got swept in that series. So whatever. The Guardians, outside of the 3-game set with the White Sox and a 3-game set with Boston, every other team they play the rest of the season's under 500. Now, there's different levels. The Blue Jays are not as bad as like these teams, but still. I mean, they got to take advantage of this, and they got to win. If they want to win the division, I know 2.5 games doesn't seem like a lot, but the White Sox, unless the Guardians sweep them, the White Sox will have the tiebreaker, and they're 3 back in the loss column. I think you probably got to win 2/3 of your games to win the division, give or take.
They need to keep this going, and the reason I don't make a big deal of the schedule and who they're beating is because this is how we thought they'd play after the deadline when they made these moves. You figured the lineup would be deeper and a little bit more potent. They are getting. I know Gavin Williams did not have it last night, but otherwise they are getting a quality start and then some every single night. I mean, what Messick has done has been incredible.
Yeah,
Cantillo has made strides. Bybee's been better. Foster Griffin is pitched decent in his time here. So, and the bullpen has had its moment. I know they've had some slip ups from time to time, but I feel like for the last month or so, it's been pretty reliable. You're just trying not to step on a landmine with, whether it's Holderman or Gaddis or Zabrowski. And so like it just feels like a much more complete team. We thought that they would be this earlier in the month.
right.
For whatever reason, they couldn't figure it out until over the last week or so. But it's not too late, I guess.
Cantillo on the hill this afternoon. Game starts in about 2 hours. His last 2 starts, he's gone 10 2/3, given up 5 hits, 7 walks. You don't love that. But he has 12 strikeouts and only 2 earned runs allowed. You mentioned him before. He's overall pitched very well this season. He's only had, I think, 2 starts all year where he's given up more than 4 runs in a game or 4 earned runs in a game. So overall, for him to, as a back-end rotation guy, to have a 3.73 ERA at this point, that's pretty impressive. And I like their chances to sweep this series.
Yeah, I mean, look, if they're down 5-0 against Tampa or New York, I don't know that they're coming back, right?
Right.
But it felt like the Angels were going to make some mistakes. You could keep that lineup at bay last night, and you had time. You were down 5-0 early enough that you could chip away at that lead. And so, Cantillo, this is a good spot for him, right?
Yeah.
Like this is a team. I think if you're the Guardians, you're also feeling you're well aware of the fact that if you play good baseball again for 2.5 hours, you've got your cross country flight and it's going to be fun and it's going to be relaxing, and you just swept an entire road trip. So I feel like that's all the motivation you should need.
Grayson Rodriguez will pitch for the Angels. He was one time a big-time prospect. Got traded to the Angels this year. He's mostly been terrible, although he is coming off a good start against the Astros last week, in which he went 7 innings with no earned runs. Gave 2 unearned runs, but only 7 base runners and 6 strikeouts. But even with that performance, he still has a 6.41 ERA since coming back from injury in the middle of May. One last thing I want to hit on, Zach, before we let you go, and that's Ralphy Velazquez. 16 home runs this month. I mean, this is absurd. I think he's got 24 ribbies. He is the hottest hitter in all of the minors. He's not on the 40-man roster. We understand that with a potential lockout next year, they may not want to add him to the 40-man roster because then he wouldn't be able to play if there's only a minor league season next year. I'm sorry, though. That can't be the excuse. He is ready to play in the majors. I know Jason said to me today he thinks he's going to come up when they expand the rosters to 28 on September 1st. Why wait? Nobody can get this guy out. You talked about it. The lineup's deeper. It's more potent. He's the final piece, I think, at least for this year. You add him and he does anything close to what he's been doing, then your only weak spot's catcher. That's it.
Yeah. So I can lay out some the hesitancies here, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned the big one, which is the lockout and the 40-man roster. And, the counter to that would be, well, what does he have left to accomplish in AAA
That's right.
that
Yeah.
he's going to need to do that in April and May of next year? Um, that's if you think he's ready, he's ready,
Yeah.
and you don't need to worry about where he, if he needs to start in Columbus next season. You can poke holes in maybe the types of pitches he's hitting and how when he gets to the major leagues, he's not going to get so many fastballs and all that. But you know what? That holds true for just about every player.
That's right.
Like pitchers, there's a huge gap between AAA and the big leagues. And where is he going to learn scouting reports and how to approach pitchers and how to adjust to them? In the big leagues, not in AAA, where pitchers are just trying to get by with whatever they've got, not with how they should attack you. The one holdup would be the usage. He's a first baseman. He was a catcher. He's a first baseman now, DH type, who they've been playing some in left field just because they need the versatility there. He'd have to play some DH, probably mostly DH in Cleveland, and they've tried to keep that spot open because Jose Ramirez is not 100%. Chase DeLauder is not 100%. They like to put Joe Adell there once in a while. So that's the question is, like David Fry came up a week ago and he's had one at bat.
Yeah.
So,
but couldn't he play first against lefties? You could sprinkle him in. You put him at first base occasionally against righties and put Lowe at DH. You could
it's not impossible. Find a way. Yeah. You just have to, and these are the deliberations they're going through, right?
Yeah.
And they've got a few more days to do this, but it's figuring out, is this worth it? Do we need to push the chips in here?
Yeah.
Like there's never a better time to do it. Like he's not going to be hotter at some point next season and the light bulb goes off. It's important to remember too, like the kid just turned 21 at the end of May. Like you don't want to put too high of expectations on him, but at the same time, maybe there wouldn't be because the team's already rolling and you wouldn't need to be hitting him fourth and saying, please save us. I'd have no issue if they called him up. And I know maybe the resistance that they probably felt a week or two ago.
Yeah.
I think they're having to have more serious conversations now just because he is as hot as you could possibly get as a hitter.
Do you think they ultimately will call him up, and if so, when?
I think their ideal move, this is going to be what Cleveland fans, you don't want to hear this. Like Daniel Schneemann is probably the guy that they've had circled for weeks because it gives them some more defensive versatility. He can play anywhere. It helps protect them because Ramirez and DeLauder have been banged up, so he can play third base, center field, wherever. But I would imagine that Ralphie is at least making them really rethink this.
Mm-hmm.
And, he'd be leapfrogging Kyle Manzardo too. I think that's important to note is Manzardo probably went down last month thinking, okay, well, I just got to play all right and I can be back September 1st. Now, I don't know if that's the case.
Will you be locked into Gabriel Arias making his first Cubs start today?
No, but I know you will be. Let me know. Let me know how he does.
Yeah, I think he got a 2-run single against a hitter in his Cubs debut off the bench in that 17-2 game. So there you go. No, I have no interest in watching him play. All right. Thanks, Zach. Appreciate the time. We'll talk to you. Remember, tomorrow, the Ultimate Cleveland Guardians show, 8 a.m. Make sure you check it out. We'll see you next time. Thanks,
We'll
Zach.
be exchanging our fantasy football big boards.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a big night Monday night. I'll talk to you later. There's Zac Meisel. I was about to call him Zach Jackson. We got a lot of Zacs on this show. Zac Meisel, Zach Jackson, both in the Cleveland Media Fantasy League. Zach Jackson will be on the podcast with me tomorrow, so we'll talk with him. If you missed it, I did an interview with Sean King yesterday. Sean's going to be on with me at least every other week on the podcast, and that one is blown up. By the last check, we had over 22,000 views on that, and he had some fascinating things to say about the quarterback situation. So if you missed it, make sure you check it out. That's it for me today. Thanks to Alex and Levi for producing today. Thanks to all of you for watching and listening. I will be tomorrow, Ultimate Cleveland Guardians show at 8 a.m. live, Ultimate Cleveland Sports show at noon live, and then the podcast with Zach Jackson will be out tomorrow afternoon. Until then, we'll talk to you next time. Where else but right here in the bullpen with Adam the Bull, brought to you by Bet Rivers. See you, everybody.